Hey, howdy,
Hey,
hey. Come on down. Come on down. Come over here and take a seat on Daddy's
let's
lap.
take a seat. What?
Welcome. Welcome. Welcome
Welcome
back,
back.
everyone. We are at number 16, episode 16, Jesus Christ, of the Frankenstein Cybernetic Séance podcast. I am your host,
Cyber.
Ryan. I am your host, Ryan Laney, joined by my co-host, my cohort, Ed Terra.
Ed Terrell.
It's the big sound machine.
Yes.
Because I'm too broke to afford a real one or download actual
Actual
clapping
software.
notifications and put them in here. Yeah, no. Fuck that shit.
We're running a grade A podcast here.
Yeah, no, we don't need that shit. We don't need that shit. We got a really cool show for y'all here today.
Y'all.
We got a lovely guest here. For those of you who do not know, he was a touring partner of ours on the last tour we just did with Cyclone 9, which was the From Hell and Back tour, which I'm sure some of you guys here who are tuning in here tonight or probably saw us and this band on that tour. Ladies and, you know what, let me just quit with the introduction here. Ladies and gentlemen, Gabriel Ryan.
Ooh,
Hey, what's
the
up, guys?
Gabe. Hey, man.
How you
How's it
doing?
going?
How you doing, man? Jeez, I haven't
not too
seen
bad,
you
not
in
too
a
bad.
while.
I know it's been like 5 minutes since we. No, I'm just joking.
I know.
Oh, man, how have you been? How's life after a little tour here?
Life after tour, it's a bit like I don't know. I mean, it's been pretty ordinary, to be honest. I mean, we got back and I just pretty much. I think I slept for about a week straight, on
Yep.
and off. Just took some
Sounds
time
about right.
off, and then right now, I mean, basically just been going hard in the studio, working on some stuff for. Hopefully, will get released toward the end of the summer. But apart from
Nice.
that, how about you guys?
Yeah, adjusting back to life.
Yeah, basically.
It takes a minute.
Yeah, it takes a minute. Yeah, I slept like throughout maybe 3 days in a row. Just wake up, eat, and then sleep right back. So we're good now. Back to the work life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for everyone tuning in right now who does not know, Gabriel, give us a brief introduction of yourself and what you do.
Yeah, man. What do you do?
Oh man, what do I do? So, I mean, I guess I shout into the mic a lot and I press
Yes.
buttons and it makes noises and people seem to dance to it sometimes.
Beep boop bop, beep boop bop.
Beep boop bop. No, I'm an I guess industrial EDM producer, frontman for the band Clockwork Echo.
Nice.
Yeah. I guess what do I do in that capacity or
I mean,
enjoy
you're an amazing
motorcycles.
front man, dude.
Yes. Yeah, you have a lot of energy. You just know how to control the crowd when you're up there. So take a lot of inspiration from that.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, it's just a lot of practice, a lot of watching other people who do the same thing, who've been doing it longer. We toured with Hosiko over the summer, not last summer, and it was, a lot of that comes from, we'd get off stage and I'd literally just watch Eric like a hawk every
Yeah.
every show and just kind of see what he was doing, and he would do like certain very subtle things to hype up the crowd, and
Mhm.
I'd go and kind of like, fuck it, let's do it. Try the same thing the next night. Absolutely nothing would happen. Just nobody responds to it. So I'm like, all right, that didn't work. So try it again the next night.
Yeah.
Maybe a little stir, and then it's the timing that's like really hard with that stuff. You have to get it. It's like you
Yeah.
have to earn. Like, there's this thing that the Hosiko does, right? That they do this. Eric does this thing where he just kind of like does this upward hand motion, and the crowd just goes nuts. And I thought that watching that for the first time, it was like watching Magician or something. Like, I'm like, how the like didn't even say anything. You just that level of control.
Yeah.
And I'm realizing that. So I tried that, and at some point I realized it's all about the timing. You have to earn that, and then once you get that level of energy going, then you can go in and try something that's like ballsy as doing it's just kind of like flicking your hand and trying to get a response out of people.
Pretty
But
much. Yeah.
a lot of it's
Yeah.
just like go up there and make a fool out of yourself a bunch of times until you figure it out.
I know I was completely blown away the first night we even played together. I think in Sacramento, at
Sacramento.
Old Irons
Or Ironside?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't think we haven't even like properly introduced ourselves to each other at that point. And my first introduction to you guys was seeing you guys have like the best crowd reaction of the whole night, honestly. Like that tiny club just like erupted. It was insane.
Yeah, so tiny, yeah.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I mean that was an interesting show too, because we'd actually just come off of a more or less 24 hours straight drive from Denver through like 2 ice storms, and apparently it gets down to like negative 15 degrees in the, like northern Nevada during the winter. We didn't know this.
Oh,
So it took
Yep.
significantly longer than we thought. I think we crashed at this hotel in like Ely, Nevada
Yeah.
for like literally 3 hours. We had to load all our gear up, 2 flights of stairs because they didn't have elevators or anything. Loaded it back, got back on the road, showed up, about an hour before load in, and yeah, I mean from there on out. So
that's insane,
I
man.
remember that night is like hazy as hell, to be honest. But thanks.
Yeah, and you were just driving in your pickup truck, weren't you? That was your tour mobile.
Pretty much, yeah. We
Yeah.
had the back of it converted into like a sleeper cab, and then the front,
Yeah.
we had the front seat, and so it was just like 3 of us. One person would sleep in the back, one person would ride passenger, one person would drive, and we just kind of
Yeah.
rotate a little bit. And then we had all our gear just kind of in the back.
In the back, yeah.
Yeah.
Big luxury.
That's pretty efficient. I mean, the vehicle we were driving in, we had like there was seven of us, right?
It was 7, yeah.
Yeah, 7 of us, and we kind of did a rotation thing, but I'm really envious because towards the end of the tour, I think you told me about that little like it was like blow up bedding thing you installed into
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, you can get so this was a
Tour tips and tricks.
Yeah, I mean you can get these little like mattresses off of Amazon that I think they're like run like $35. There's some nicer ones you can get for like $60, but honestly they all pretty much work the same. And essentially it has like a pillars or multiple pillars that will come down over your seat to like extend the length of like the support under the mattress up, and it will just like become like a single size bed essentially that goes in the back. Only problem is it's not very long. So if you're tall like me, you kind of have to curl up in the fetal position to like actually be able to sleep properly.
That would be me.
A lot. Yeah. But I mean, it's still better than just sitting on a bench or lying on a bench or reclining in the seat for days on.
No, reclining is not it.
No, it's not.
I kind of explained in the last. No, I kind of explained in the last episode how I slept, where I kind of was in the fetal position, but I had my legs kind of frogged out. They were kind of like, I don't know how to explain it, like kind of diamond out. So that's
only
still
2
done a
seats of
number on my.
space.
Yeah,
2
only
seats
2
of space.
seats. So
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to extend my legs, or else I would have been putting my feet into Jaden, who was our last guest on last week. I wouldn't want to put my feet in his face. And I used to not sleep. I kept my shoes on every night for him. If it wasn't for him, I would have taken those bad boys off.
How to win friends and influence people. Don't stick your feet in their face.
No.
I think we became good friends after that. I was like, hey, man, I didn't kick you in the face during the tour. I think that's pretty okay.
There you go.
Well, how did kind of talking about Clockwork a little bit, how did you guys get started?
Oh man. So I was a metal musician way back in the day. Took some time off to study math. I know, nerd stuff, right?
Math.
Yeah. And I was actually living up in New York.
Mathematician here.
Hardly, but it was, I was basically I had like a 1-hour commute every day, and you can't exactly practice guitar like on the subway. But I had a laptop on me, so I just started. I've been listening to like a lot of Agritech at the time. So I was like, fuck it, I've got Logic on here and some derpy VST synths, and I was just like, I'm gonna try doing this, and it kind of took off from there. Ended up moving out to Colorado. It wasn't really like a serious thing. It was just kind of like, this is just something I'm just kind of puddling around with in my spare time.
Yeah.
And then the pandemic happened, and I had a lot of time at home. So put together an album toward the end of it. And then I think it was around December, I want to say 2021, 22, 2021. Yeah, December 2021, we had this, like a first, I guess, serious gig, which was actually really interesting. We got invited by the Satanic Temple of Colorado to play at their
Satanic Temple.
Yeah,
what?
yeah. It was. I was like, okay, this is the most metal thing ever. Of course, we're gonna do this.
Yeah.
So that was nuts. But we like co-headlined it with another local band, F, that they've been around for like, I don't know, 15 years at this point. They're but they're OGs of the local scene here. They're really good. And I mean, had a lot of fun. It's like kind of had this, hey, maybe we should try doing this for real. So went ahead and released.
Was that just by yourself at that point? Was it just a one-man project, or did
actually
you have
that one, yeah, that was just like me on stage with a keyboard and a MIDI controller and a laptop and a microphone, and it was hilarious. I kind of had a little mini freak out, like, how am I gonna make this work? I actually found myself messaging Klaus from Leatherstrip. I'm like, dude, how do you do it? Because I've just got me, and what do I do? And he's like, oh well, and then he just insert big wall of text that I think I absorbed like 30% of it and went out and tried to do it, but it worked out. Someone was there that ended up, I guess he saw it and he wanted us to open for Combi Christ was going to play later that month in Denver on New Year's Eve. And so is that later that month or technically the next month, one or the other, but ended up opening for them. And that was fun. Although I think like 10 people showed up because there's a massive blizzard and like cars were running off the road, and it's really, but still, I mean, yeah, no, it was crazy. But at that point, like, I just kind of was like, yeah, this is fucking fun. I want to do this a lot. So kind of step things into gear, actually released the album, and then just kind of didn't look back, and that's kind of how it started.
Nice.
So you've just been going nonstop since the pandemic, basically.
Yeah, more or less, or more toward the end of it.
Okay.
Yeah, about a year and a half now.
Well, we're gonna play a song.
Let's hear some Clockwork magic.
Yeah. We're gonna play a song that you have a music video for, and we're gonna play that music video right now. Before I play that, this song is gonna be called "Embrace the Silence So Cold." Is there anything you can tell us about this particular track?
Oh my god, I fucking hate the music video. No. No, I mean, everyone else in the music video did great, but like I apparently I developed COVID that day, and I was, unbeknownst to me, I was starting to feel worse and worse. So I look like I'm sweating bullets the entire time, and I don't know. No one likes to like watch themselves like sing, dude. It's just not a thing. But but no, it's a funny video. It's very tongue in cheek. My friend Mark came up with the idea for it. It's basically like this. Well, I won't spoil it too much. It's a priest who is like eventually corrupted into, I don't know, being a badass or something.
Yeah.
Well, without giving too much away, I guess we'll just talk more about it after. Ladies and gentlemen, Clockwork Echo, Embrace the Silence So Cold. So cold.
For one thing, we're living in the dark. We're living in the closing chapter of an age dominated by the prince and powers of darkness.
There it is, the infamous video.
Back.
The infamous video.
Infamous video.
Man, that I'm not gonna lie, man. Though when I hear that song, I get a little depressed because it makes me miss touring and hearing that every night.
Yeah, every single night.
I miss that, man.
Yeah, I felt the same way when I heard the intro to the podcast. So now I know what you mean, man.
It like floods back memories because it's like, oh man, I know exactly where I am when they're playing this song.
Yeah.
You know, like I know where I'm supposed to be around this time of night. I'm at the merch table watching them, or so it's like it's one of those things. But for those who are just for those who are just tuning in now, guys, welcome back. This is the Cybernetic Séance podcast, episode 16. If you're just now tuning in, I'm your host Ryan Laney, aka Nexus, the chrome-faced robot guy from our Frankenstein. We got Ed
Silly
Terror
little
over
man.
here. We got Ed Terror over here, aka Fatal, aka the guitar player for our
The guitar player.
We are joined tonight by the very lovely, the very spontaneous Gabriel Ryan of Clockwork.
Gabriel.
What's good?
Yeah. So we were just playing his music. If you guys just saw that was "Embrace the Silence So Cold" by
Cold.
Clockwork Echo. And you were kind of going into that video or the making of that video a little bit before we got started. But you said you developed COVID during the making of that?
Yeah, that was rough. That was really fucking rough.
COVID right in that video.
Yeah, so I took a test right at the beginning of it, toward the beginning of the day.
Yeah.
'Cause it was starting to feel a little weird. Comes back negative. Take another one. Comes back negative. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Ask everyone else. You good with me showing up on set? They're like, yeah. I basically slept in the chair until it was like time to do the parts that I was involved in, which were like the live shots and just sweat. It's just like running down. And but what you don't really see in videos like that is like they make you do the same, or at least a good videographer. What he or she will do is they'll have you like redo the same thing over and over again. So you have to hold a lot. Like, I mean, just imagine you're just sitting here with a microphone holding it like this for like an hour, just doing the same thing, and that was just exhausting. Like by the end of it, I guess it kind of added to the effect of the video, but it was pretty cool. No, we had a lot of fun.
I did think it was intentional. I mean, that grittiness, at least, that was coming from you.
I mean, no, I'm not a particularly experienced actor or anything like that. So that actually is just the result of me, feeling deathly ill the entire time.
Can you sweat on command? No.
You're a method actor. That's what you are. It's like, all right, Gabriel, sweat. Go. Profusely, I have control of every single one of my pores. God damn it!
Every single orifice.
Every orifice. Yeah. I was gonna say the same thing.
Oof. Well, man. Okay, so was that off your recent album?
Yeah, that was off the latest one. That was what the fuck is the name of the album? Death for Birth Repeat. Yeah, that's off that one. It's I believe the second track on the album, if I'm not mistaken. Might be the first. I can't remember.
I still think one of your best songs is the Soundcheck song.
Oh yeah, that yeah.
When Clockwork Echo is a treat to watch during the soundtrack.
Yeah, they are. I would love the when you were mic checking yourself, you would just narrate what you were seeing out randomly, and then you would say, like, if you see Nero just walking by, Nero just walked by and then he left, but you were doing it in like your screaming voice. It was just hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. There's the humor aspect to it. I think the first time I started doing that though is like, I would often practice doing harsh vocals while driving around in my truck, and it's like unless you're like doing it along to something, you don't really know. I mean, you're gonna say stuff to it. So like, it's like, all right, what am I gonna scream about? Oh, there's a big left turn only sign. There's like left turn only sign. Just felt that out, and I guess that kind of evolved into like this weird sound check thing. I didn't put two and two together until we started talking about it now, but I think that's the first time I did that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's lighthearted. It's a good way to. I mean,
honestly, yeah.
What are you gonna scream about? Like, I mean, is it just gonna like do the lyrics of the song? Yeah, that's no fun. It's a sound check, It's gets everybody laughing. You know, that usually ingratiates you to the sound guy, which is cool. You want
Keeps
that
the
guy?
vibe clean.
Yeah,
Everyone
yeah.
happy. Yeah, no, I love that about that. I don't know. God, I can't speak tonight. I love that about you guys, though. You guys, there wasn't that like era of like taking yourself too seriously.
We don't.
You guys
No.
were open. No, you guys were all about having fun, and it was cool.
Yeah.
We enjoyed that about you guys.
Well, thank you.
And
no, I
then and then you had Carrie alongside you, right?
Yeah, Carrie. So we had Alex for like some of the first few shows, and then Carrie, or Carrie and Alex, and then Carrie was doing live keys and basically blowing stuff up on stage for the
Yeah.
second portion of it.
We
Yeah,
needed
she was
some of that pyro.
great. Yeah,
Yeah,
that pyro was cool.
She's a badass.
The grinding that she did on the metal guitar was just highlight. It's like she just pulls it out and it's just freaking. Yeah, it was really cool.
Lots and lots of practice on her part for that. I mean,
Yeah.
she's been doing that for years. So
Oh, I'm sure. What venue was that where maybe I shouldn't say, but there was a certain venue where we played
Yeah.
where she was doing it and the guy wasn't
Oh,
too
I know.
happy about it.
I remember.
Well, I know. I can't remember. See, I must have missed that one. I do know that there was one. I mean, that happens every now and then. Usually we
Yeah.
ask, but sometimes it's just kind of like ask for forgiveness, not for
Yeah.
permission kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's kind of like her call, like what she feels. She kind of feels it out. In Denver, we have the advantage of. I mean, she works. Does like stage-handed lighting stuff, right, for a lot of the big companies around here that do said things. So the cool thing is like she's basically networked with most of the people who would be doing that at a show you play at locally. So when we're like in our home city, our kind of method of action is she'll go talk to the sound guy who she probably knows, and it's like, yo, it's cool if I do like the Sparks thing, or the metal grinding thing, and they'll be like, oh yeah, hell yeah. Unless there's like a blanket like ban, on doing that in that building or something like that. So the time that I remember, it was actually a show we did back in December for this big event, Saturnalia, and there was a huge crowd. Everyone's just completely going nuts and stuff like that because the show had been going on for there were a bunch of other bands and acts and stuff like that. So the crowd was all like hyped up and stuff, and she breaks out the grinder, and this is actually before she was performing with us. It was just me and Alex on stage for that, and she was just coming on toward the end of it to do the Sparks thing. So she comes out, starts doing the Sparks thing. Crowd goes absolutely nuts, and then you just see the Live Nation promoter off to the left going, no, just like, and then so she just casually just kind of stops. She just kind of like struts off stage and waves at the Live Nation promoter. And at that point, it's so she got about like 5 seconds with Sparks then before that happened. But
unfortunately, yeah.
So I don't know. It just nothing was mentioned about that from that point onward. It's just because didn't want to draw attention to it, but. Behind closed doors, I think we all thought it was pretty punk rock and kind of laughed at it a little bit.
That's fucking awesome.
No, yeah, that was insane. Yeah. Like you mentioned a big crowd. I do remember you actually leaving for tour, the To Hell and Back tour, going to Mexico, I believe you mentioned, right? To headline or to play with Osico. How was that like? Because
we started a riot.
Yeah, you briefly mentioned a riot. I want to hear more about that. How was that show like?
That was great. Now,
yeah,
keep in mind we were a completely unknown band in Mexico.
Yeah,
at that time. I mean, aside from this one show we did in Mexicali, last summer, which is like a border town. So I mean, it's not Mexico City or anything like that.
Yeah.
Hocico wanted us on the show. I need to get a longer mic cable. Apparently, drop my audio interface. Can you guys still hear me? Excellent.
Yes.
Yeah, you're great.
All right, I kind of nut tap myself with the microphone just there, but I'm okay. No. So we're completely unknown band in Mexico at the time. So promoter, it's risky because apparently like these big. I mean, this was going to be at the National Auditorium, right, in Mexico City.
Yeah.
So they've got the football stadium, which we weren't doing, like the show wasn't there. That's like 25,000 people. Then they've got the Lunario, which is like this indoor spot where they have concerts. It's got a capacity of about 2,500 people.
Yeah.
So, and it was sold out. And the thing is, apparently, like the way that these things go is like the band either the crowd either loves the show or they start rioting. And so, like, to be like a completely unknown band that like nobody's heard of,
Yeah.
it was risky. So the promoter makes an understandable, calculated decision. We're going to put them on first, then have this DJ that's coming in from Germany go, and then there's going to be Hosiko. So we had like this 20-minute short set at the very beginning of the show. So we were cool with that. That was like, hell yeah, we're going to go up there and do it. We go up, crowd fucking loves it. We basically managed to compress a bunch of our songs into 20 minutes just by like completely eliminating the space between songs. More so than we usually do. But just kind of bam, 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 knock them out. I'm huffing and puffing throughout the entire thing because despite living in Denver, which is about a mile up in the air, Mexico City is like 6,700 feet, or ridiculous like that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It was nuts. But so we finish up and the crowd is just chanting "Uno más, uno más," which means one more, basically one more. Yeah, one more song. They want an encore. So stroll off to the side of the stage, ask the promoter, "Hey, so how do we handle this? I mean, do you want us to do it? Do we have time?" She's like, "We got 2 minutes," and I'm like, "We're not gonna be able to do one in 2 minutes. That's not gonna work." So go off, tell my compatriot Ryan, who had flown out to help out with that show. It's like, yeah, no, we're not gonna be able to manage it. So we're just thank you, and then just kind of like leave. And crowd's cheering us, but then they're like freaking out because they wanted that one more song, and they bring in this DJ, and this poor woman, like they were like brutal. I mean, they were like throwing shit at the stage, and like it was like, I mean, just posting all kinds of like obscenities on fucking Instagram and shit like that. It was bad.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
And I was completely unaware that this was happening. I was down like in the basement green room thing, which is like this weird bunker, and I'm just chowing down on some bomb ass Mexican food.
Hell yeah.
But apparently that happened. Then Hosiko toward the end of that thing had to go up and calm him down, and I don't know. It was good times. And then
that much, huh?
yeah. It was. I mean, that was a wild night. I mean, they go hard.
I've heard the stories down there in Mexico, but I mean, you got the crowd going, and then what amazed me the most is I don't remember which exact dates were this, but you went off the tour, right? You flew to Mexico, and then you flew Mexico City, and then you moved back to, where did you fly back to?
So we had that show at Mount Holly, which was, we're not going to speak of that.
Mount Holly show. Yeah
we had the Mount Holly show. And then we drove down. So my parents lived near, like, about 40 minutes outside of Baltimore.
Correct.
So basically parked the truck at their place, got, I don't know, like 3-4 hours of sleep, woke up again, got dropped off at, like, my mom dropped me off at the airport, at like some stupid hour. It was like 4 a.m. or something like that. At BWI, Baltimore Washington International Airport. So took a flight directly to Mexico, or to Texas, then later, like 1 hour layover there, went to Mexico City, did the show, and didn't really sleep, but went back. I mean, basically it was like this mandatory after party. Mandatory as in, like, we were going to severely
mandatory
mandatory after party. And if we didn't show up at all, we would severely offend like everyone. So we had to go.
You have to party afterward.
And these things go to like 5 a.m. So like when we
Peer
already left
pressure.
early.
Back to my lesson from the last episode.
So I'm just I'm just sipping a beer while, like, just knowing I gotta roll out of here. And so say goodbye to Ryan, who's flying right back to Texas, and then went to the airport at, it was like probably around 5 a.m. Took a 7 a.m. flight back to BWI. Got in, took like a nap for 4 or 5 hours, and then we just drove to fucking Atlanta.
Straight driving.
Maryland. Yeah, it was
Maryland. Jesus.
like a
Yeah.
16, 17-hour drive,
Uh-huh.
and just fuck that. Never do
Yeah.
it.
So so just for context, from the night you left Mount Holly to Mexico to how many days was this at this point?
Fuck, that was probably like 3 days. So it
Yeah.
was Mount Holly, Mexico the next day. The next day was Atlanta. So, or it
Yeah.
was like 2 days later was Atlanta. But by the time
Two-
I got back from
Yeah.
traveling, I mean, I did manage to get some sleep on the plane somehow in a very upright position, no less. But
Yeah.
it did happen.
That is some dedication. Yeah, as soon as I heard you guys like jumping off like 1 or 2 days of tour to go do the show and then to come back to it, that's some serious like respect to you, because not a lot of people would just put themselves through absolute hell just to take this, what you said, like 20-minute set in Mexico. But even then, you got that experience in, and you
no one's
still
ever
flew back.
accused us of being smart. So,
Hey man, like seriously, I respect that a lot, and I'm pretty sure you'll be back to Mexico to rock that crowd again. Yeah.
yeah, it was fun. I got to try crickets too. Apparently, it's like a thing that you can eat.
Oh yeah, crickets.
Yeah, it's a thing. That's pretty good.
The salted crickets.
Salted crickets. Buy it from a street vendor. That was legit.
That's the experience right there. You get a whole mouthful
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah, mouthful of crickets. Go up there on stage, try to sing. Like, got like an antenna dangling out of your mouth or something.
I'm open to trying some bugs. I like bugs. I like
You
it.
were
Hey,
you were raving about your gator tail the whole time on tour.
dude. Give
Oh,
me
dude,
one
that
sec.
stuff's
I'm gonna
awesome.
try to. No, Gator.
I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna go grab. I've got an Uber Eats order with a bunch of energy drinks that I'm gonna go grab. So I will be right back.
Yeah, of course.
3 seconds.
Yeah, Ed, the show's all yours.
So this is Ed's corner. When we talk about some spooky shit, some sexual shit, if you're into that.
Whoa. Gone sexual?
Gone sexual. I'm gonna make this podcast sexy.
In case anyone had any questions during during his story time, my camera decided to not work, so
Yeah.
I'm getting that figured out. But I was trying to keep the cat. There's a little cat walking around here, and I was trying to keep the little baby kitty girl from getting on the old camera. I should probably put the lens cap on.
Yeah.
You know what, Ed? Go back to your sexual ghost stories.
Sexual. Sexual. Well, I did on tour. Actually, I had some encounters with spiritual beings. Actually, they crawled up on my chest and were like straight up just pressing on it and not letting me breathe. Some choking action was happening on a hotel.
Dude, you shouldn't talk about your drummer like that.
It was probably just Jimmy.
It was Jimmy.
Just kidding. No, he had a similar experience
Hi,
too.
Jimmy.
I'm the only one who didn't.
You didn't have a ghostly experience. Yeah, you were there at I think it was one of the Florida dates. The door opened by itself, remember?
Oh yeah, we were chilling.
Yeah.
We were in the green room, which was interesting, and we were up in there, and the door, which was connected to someone else's office space, I think.
Office space, yeah.
Door just swung wide open, and they're like, "Oh, it's just a ghost."
Yeah.
We're like,
We were like,
"Oh."
was that you guys? I'm like, no, it's just the ghost. I'm like, oh, just casual.
Just chilling, man. Just
Yeah.
just the freaking ghost. No biggie. Well,
Right
let's play another tunage here while you're chugging a good old energy drink, eh?
Mountain Dew, actually.
Oh, Mountain Dew. Yeah, that's good enough.
Where's my goddamn Mountain Dew?
Well, you know what? Before we play
Where's
this
my
song,
goddamn Mountain Dew?
okay, before we play this song, I'm gonna try to see if I can fix my camera here before we during this moment.
Before we
But
continue.
before we
Yep.
play this song here, it's actually a remix, correct?
Yeah, it's a remix of Get Off the X, which is a song by Komar Commando, which
Nice.
so backstory. I don't know if you guys remember Icon of Coil. They were one of the original like precursor Agritech bands back in the day, and they kind of split off in two directions: Kami Christ and Comor Commando. Comor Commando guys. So Sebastian Comor, an absolutely brilliant producer, amazing audio engineer. In fact, he's so good at it that like he kind of took a break from making music for a while, because basically he was doing the mixing and mastering for, at one point, like a third to like half of the bands of that genre in existence, just working with different studios and stuff like that. So this was like their comeback album, and one of the songs off of that. And did a remix of it. Kind of sounds vaguely reminiscent of the original at this point, but yep.
Well, here we go, man.
Let's play some
Clockwork
tunage.
Echo remix of Get Off the X. My camera's not in focus. I gotta fix that. Welcome back to the Cybernetic Séance podcast.
To the Unfocused podcast.
Welcome to the Unfocused Cybernetic Séance podcast. I am your host, Ryan Laney.
Lanai.
I play Nexus, the chrome-faced robot in our Frankenstein. And I think I have my camera working. Let's see if let's see how this how this goes, folks. I'm joined here by
There
my
he is.
co-host, Ed Terror. He plays Fatal, the guitar player.
I play the masked guitar player.
And if you're just tuning in, our guest
You know
today
what the mask reminds me of?
Which
What?
mask?
The one you wear. Yeah. Do you ever see the movie Fury Road, Mad Max? You know, like
Mad
guitar
Max.
player that's just like
Yeah.
chilling on the side of that vehicle, just like chugging along as they're that's you, man.
Yeah, that's I never put that together.
Go like watch one of your performances and like watch that guy, like that scene.
Yeah.
From, it's. I'm
I
convinced.
need to
that you
rewatch it.
It's a good
I
movie.
was actually that guy. No.
Fuck yeah. And if you guys are just tuning in, we're here with Gabriel Ryan, just my first name, of Clockwork Echo, and you were just listening to his remix of "Get Off the Eggs." Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Was there any other reason why you wanted to remix that?
I mean, so I'm a huge Como Commando fan. He kind of reached out, like, so basically a lot of times the way these things go is like, you'll make a bunch of songs, it'll go on an album or EP. In this case, an EP, and
Yeah.
then you'll also want to bring in other bands to do remix work on it. I don't know why, it just seems to be what people do. So I guess he needed a bunch of remixes done, and yeah, so Seb and I have an interesting relationship because I've just been endlessly hounding him with questions about audio engineering for like 2 or 3 years now at this point, which he's actually pretty cool about.
Here's
no,
Gabriel again.
he's pretty cool about. He's actually he actually gets excitedly answers a lot of them, which is really cool. Learned a ton from talking to him, but yeah, he hit me up. Not this past, actually it was like this past like July, August, something around there. You know, hey, do you want to do a remix for this new EP we're doing for Como Commando? I'm just like thinking to myself like, duh. So I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Which one do you want me to do? When do I start? So it was just kind of like this oh shit moment. I mean, this is gonna be released on Alpha Matrix. Like, okay, better not fuck this up. And fuck it up I did. I mean, he sends it, oh, can you do this one? I'm listening to this. I mean, the first time I listened to his version of it, I'm like, how do I remix this? This is perfect. So 11 tries later, submitted that, and he seemed happy with it. I remember sent the first version. He's like, dude, where's the bass? I'm just like, oh fuck. Okay, so like a couple days later, version 2, good, but could still use more bass. And it became like this thing, like the Arby's woman. Where's the beef? Where's the bass? It was just like the, But by the time I got to version 11, I'm just like, I think I know what he's talking about here. And like, by the time I got to that, after about a week later, submitted version 11, he's like, oh dude, this fucking smacks or something. He said something like that. I'm like, cool, you just made my year, dude.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But yeah, that was cool as fuck. So a couple other people did remixes of that song too. Selector and Anthony H, I believe, also did remixes of that one.
Cool.
And I might be leaving someone out, but yeah, came out a while back. It's hell of a lot of fun to put together and whatnot. It's sped up a bit too.
Yeah. I recently dabbled in remixing. It wasn't something that I don't think. Yeah, no. There's never been in our Frankenstein remix.
This is the first one, I believe so.
Yeah. I got together with Brenton, who's a past member of our Frankenstein. He's been on this show before. He was one of my old keyboard players. He doesn't play live with us, but he's sort of still involved with the band, like behind the scenes. But
he's an unofficial member, I would say.
Yeah,
unofficial, official.
Our Frankenstein's like an orchestra, you got some people here, you got some people there, this is how it is. I've come to terms with with that. And we did a remix for a song for a really cool band that's based out here in California. I don't want to say too much right now because it's for a single they haven't even released, I don't think. Yeah, it's for something they haven't even released yet. So.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool. Never done a remix before.
I heard it. It was pretty good. Can't wait for you guys to hear that. Yeah.
Yeah, It's popping. It's popping. One of the questions I've been wanting to ask you, even on tour, was what kind of bands were you in prior to Clockwork Echo?
Black metal.
Yeah. Okay.
Black metal.
Yeah,
Okay.
black metal. I had a one-man black metal project that I started in high school and was also simultaneously playing in like this like thrash metal band and also this metalcore band. There were a lot of metalcore bands at the time because that was like what was in, you know. So if you wanted to find people to play with, you'd play like deathcore,
You have
metalcore, stuff like that.
Metalcore. Yep.
Yeah, but
The
my heart
roots.
was definitely with the black metal stuff. Went on,
Yeah.
picked up some more members, did that for a few years, and then didn't. But you know,
Not very
kinda-
common. You run into someone who enjoys black metal, I would say. How
it's-
did you get introduced to it? Because I don't hear a lot of people listening to it.
my first black metal band was Battery. I really like the atmospheric sound.
Yeah.
It's definitely become really problematic from a political perspective, though. So like, it's weird saying that like, oh, I used to play black metal. I'm very quick to say like, not a political band, nothing like that. But
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
for me, it was more. I don't know. It's kind of antithetical for black metal to be more about the music than the ideology. But like, I've never
Yeah.
been much of an ideologically inclined person, so it was just more. I think what drew me to it was, just like the atmospheric sound was always really cool.
100%. Yeah. It's like this like frostbitten despair kind of sound that I don't know.
Yeah, it's like
very
metal
drying.
for introverts.
Yeah.
It's like sit back in your chair and just kind of close your eyes and just listen to this atmosphere kind of music. And interestingly enough, like I'm not the first guy to go from doing even black metal specifically to harsh electro. Alien Vampires are
Right.
pretty. They were in Aberim, and then they decided they were gonna. I mean, they were an industrial black metal band, so they already
Yeah.
had like their fucking door. And then they started Alien Vampires, and I think Alien Vampires really took off more than Aberim did, although they're both really good bands. But
Yeah. I don't know too much about his backstory, but the guy from Perturbator, he did metal before, and now he's up there with the synthwave stuff. Well, kind
great
of
fucking
synthwave.
band.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I've heard that too. I don't know what bands he was in before that, but
Yeah.
yeah, you can definitely hear it in
You can. Yeah.
in what's interesting though is like, and this seems to happen with everybody. We played a show with Alien Vampires a few months ago, and I was kind of chatting with them about this. When you come over from that genre to writing electronic music, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You know how to write a song,
Yeah.
but you
no,
don't know what
yeah.
the fuck you're doing. So it's like
Absolutely
you know,
not. No.
you can hear like Alien Vampires. Like I knew before I knew that they had played black metal before I knew which bands they were in, because I'm like, all right, those are black metal vocals, which
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's basically what happens. Like, okay, I don't really know what vocals are appropriate with this genre, but I know how to do this. I'm going to do this. Or like
Mhm.
with us, we sort of have a traditional approach to arrangements. There's a lot of mode changes and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
instead of having like just a lead and a bass, we've got like a bass, kind of this thing that's usually chugging around the mids, and then like a lead up here. And all that
Yeah.
is that like I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I knew how to write guitar into music, so I'm like, all right, well, this lead's gonna be the rhythm guitar. This lead's gonna
Yeah.
be the lead guitar, and then this is gonna be the bass. And then next thing you know, you're like writing metal, like using a bunch of synths and drum machines and shit, and
Exactly.
just kind of making it dancey. But a lot of bands, I think, like Perturbator too. Like I'm sure once you make that jump, it's like there's this weird
Yeah.
thing where it's like you don't know what the fuck you're doing, so you just sound like a guitar player trying to write
You're
like
just
synth
you're just
music.
pushing and twisting knobs at that point. See if it sounds good or not.
Yeah. But the arrangements come out of your background, your previous musical background. Then the knowledge of the synths and stuff actually that catches up, and that's when it. But you still kind of keep that vibe, I guess, because
Yeah. Yeah, I have like a ton of tracks just sitting on my computer, just me messing around with like just purely electronic stuff. And you can kind of tell this was written from a metal guitar player at that point, because there's no sense to it.
yeah.
Yeah. But I know, I get entirely what you mean. You wouldn't know what we're doing with here. Yeah.
I'm not even necessarily what you would call a musician. So when
That's a
I'm
loaded statement.
yeah.
Ouch, man.
Well, no, per se, because I don't really play a musical instrument. I mean, when I get together with musicians
You play
and perform
bass.
live or go into the studio, I mean, I play bass and I've written a lot of background or backbone of songs with the bass, but I wouldn't say I'm the best bass player. And if I have a better bass player in the band at the time, I'll usually prefer them tracking the bass for a song. But for me, it's I try to interpret the song anyway the song's written with the band.
Mhm.
If I'm working with a producer for an album, it's almost like a collaboration between me
So
and
you're
them.
the Lars Ulrich of bass players, is what you're telling me.
Basically,
Exactly.
yeah, basically.
And that's
I'm
not
glad
that's not
you-
a dig at Lars Ulrich at all. It's actually what it if you see videos of like
No.
the production of old Metallica records, he's like, hey,
Yeah.
try this out on guitar and we'll like hum a melody at James Hetfield. And he'll be like, oh, okay, and then he'll try the riff. But Lars Ulrich
yeah.
actually wrote the riff, but just kind of by like grunting it or something. It's
Exactly.
pretty cool.
Crazy how that happens. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bands that do that.
I would argue that's being a musician, though. I mean, you're composing music, you're doing it in your head, but that's no different than just. I mean, if you're a composer for an orchestra and you don't necessarily know how to play every single instrument in the orchestra, but you're writing down sheet music and handing it off to your different orchestral elements, and then they play it for you. Does that mean you're not a musician? I mean, I would argue that that's definitely falls in the category of musical stuff.
I guess I say so. Then, man, making me feel real good about myself.
Yeah.
Come on the show every week. I like this.
I'll send you an address for a check later.
Composer Ryan Laney, the composer.
The composer.
I like that. Well,
That would be funny. Yeah. No, during like our Frankenstein like rehearsals, he would be like, Can you do it in a way where it's like, just a little different? I'm like, okay.
I don't explain it like a musician. That was my thing. It's like I'll be like, play it grittier, like hit the string, or I don't know, something like that.
Oh, you want me to hit the strings? I was kind of hitting them before, but
no, you were on tour. You're hit. Oh man, there goes my camera again. God damn it.
That's the perfect pose to be stuck in. That's hilarious. He's just
That's
like,
a good. That's a good
yeah. We should screenshot that. One second. Let me go ahead. Fast. I'll send this to you.
Oh, beautiful. I love that. Oh yeah. Here we go. Back. We're back, folks.
To that webcam quality.
I do take a lot of background from like movies and like theater.
Yes.
A lot of what inspires me isn't always necessarily music. So it's one of those things where I'm more inspired by directors and shit, not to sound all fucking artsy like I work, with a scarf.
Fucking hipster.
Exactly.
Where's my scarf? Oh, I have a hat I can get, but I'm not.
He has the artsy hat.
I have the hat. I wore it yesterday.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. No, I'm just fucking with you, dude.
No, yeah. I sound like it I can't not explain it without sounding like a fucking hipster. It's impossible. So it's like I've accepted it. I've come to terms with it. But we are getting towards the end of the show here, folks. Oh my god, time flies by when you're having fun with your best friend.
With the best friends.
Once again, Gabriel, thank you for joining us here in our studio in Hollywood, California.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming all the way out here.
Yeah, man, it was nice talking to you again. Didn't really get to speak to you a whole lot during tour just because
we were all busy as fuck.
We're all busy as hell doing our own thing, but I loved having you around. Carrie was a gem. You guys would always help us out. That's really appreciated. We try to do the same to you.
Teamwork is
man.
You guys were absolutely awesome. To tour with, keeping the energy going every single night.
Yeah.
Except for the one time you had to fly all the way to Mexico and then fly back for a show the following day, which is
Yeah.
mad freaking props.
Yep.
So it's these guys are the real MVPs. So if you guys who are tuning in right now, Clockwork Echo, how can
Clockwork
people find you, man?
Yes. Where can I find Clockwork Echo? Huh?
Pretty much everywhere. I mean, we're on Bandcamp, Spotify, YouTube, like all the major stuff, Facebook, Instagram. Yeah, I mean, we're
Nice.
I mean,
So everywhere on the
all of the above.
socials. Nice. And is there any plans, close plans, future plans of Clockwork that you would want to kind of tease?
Yeah, so we've got a pretty cool tour coming up over the summer that I
Mhm.
cannot say anything about for like another couple weeks or so, maybe a month, but it's gonna be pretty fucking cool. And then we've got like I think 4 remixes coming out as soon as I get off my ass and finish them. And then, and then another album
Yeah.
coming out later this year, probably end of the summer at this point,
So pretty busy for Clockwork. That's good, man.
or something. I don't know.
We'll see.
See
Fuck
how,
yeah.
see how the mood is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
man.
nice talking to you again, man.
Mechanismus Festival, we're doing that. I can talk about that.
Oof. What was that again?
Mechanismus Festival in Seattle.
When is that?
I believe it's June. I think it's like June 21st through 24th. I
Okay.
forget which night we're going on. I know it's the same night as Selector, which is cool. We've played with them
Selector's
before.
awesome.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, they're the nicest guys too. Like I mean, like,
Yeah.
Marco is just a gem. He's wonderful. But yeah, that's the day, and I don't remember what day that is. Fuck knows. I don't know. This is why I keep a calendar, because
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that will be posted once that's or already posted. But yeah, man.
I miss Naruto running with you, bro.
Oh my god.
it was fucking wild. Yeah, we were just Naruto run around.
Oh,
the venues
these
and
these two clowns, like Naruto ran while I think Cyclone was sound checking. I'm all like,
Yeah, well,
We
there's
would
some-
also play with the mannequin, Maddie's mannequin.
oh,
The
that's
goal was
right.
to make Nero laugh, and one of my proudest moments on tour was we managed to get a smirk.
You got a
out of it.
smirk from Nero.
We got a smirk. So, I
That
mean,
is a win's a
and,
win.
he has a amount of focus. So like when he's sound checking and doing that stuff, like his attention is just completely engaged to what he's doing. So the
Yeah.
fact we got that little smirk out of him was like, yeah, that was great.
Hell yeah.
It's a huge accomplishment right there. Well, guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Gabriel, once again.
Thanks for having
a
me.
pleasure to see you again.
Gabriel.
Maybe we'll see each other again soon. Who knows?
Yeah, hopefully.
Maybe something will happen someday that these people who are tuning in can come and see live. I don't fucking know. Who sees?
Yeah.
Who knows? I'm Ryan. This is. Oh wait, I'm gonna point to you.
This is Ed Terror.
And you are watching the Cybernetic Séance podcast. We will see you again next week, Friday at 8 p.m.
Peace, y'all.
Pacific Standard Time.
It's Pinsiford. Yes.
Bye.